What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of MMA Productions. Today we're going to be going over my picks and predictions for this weekend's card. We got Quillen Salkilld taking on Mateus Gamrot. Salkilld is a rising prospect, recently coming off of big wins over Benyel Dariush and Jamie Malarkey. Had a lot of iconic moments in the UFC. Gamrot been a mainstay of the division for a few years now. Lots of big wins. Got guys like Arman Sarukian. I can't name any other out the top of my head right now because I forgot all the research I did for this video right now. But yeah, pretty interesting card this weekend. But I do want to start off by this video by saying rest in peace to Al Nascimento. Just really tragic. If you don't know, he passed away recently at the age of, I believe he was 34. Had a heart attack in his sleep. Just really tragic and unbelievable that stuff like that can happen to people who are in the prime shape of their lives and are in these incredible athletes and so fit. And I think it is a lesson. And Charles Oliveira said it. I think it's a good lesson to go and appreciate your loved ones because you never know what could happen. But anyway, getting into the video, starting off today's card, we have Gigi Canuto taking on Carol Foro. This was added on around 4 days' notice. This is definitely a grappler versus striker matchup. Starting off with Canuto, I'm going to be taking Carol Foro to win. I believe she's the under on most of the stuff I've seen, but I couldn't find the odds on Tapology. So these are two elite finishers, by the way. Both have very high finish rates, as you can tell. Both very young. I believe Gigi Canuto is a tough contestant at the moment. She has solid striking in terms of power and speed, kind of sloppy at times, but you could tell she's pretty talented with the striking. She's hit some nasty transitions into a wicked armbar on floor. I believe it was Hernandez in a recent fight. And overall, outside of that, she's just had some pretty nasty jiu-jitsu. In a fight recently with Kessie, I believe is how you pronounce her name. Kessie had her hurt pretty good early on, with just some boxing, because Gigi was trying to strike with her, which she's been trying to strike to show off that she can lately. But Kessie had her hurt pretty bad early on, although she does have some good work in the pocket, and she can land some good takedowns into some good ground and pound. 4-0 is just a million times better on the feet. I couldn't really find much footage of her grappling. She has struggled with it in the past, but she's probably made improvements since then. She has a win over Chanel Dyer. She beat the brakes off of Chanel Dyer for 2 rounds. Third round, Chanel Dyer started bringing it back. Even near the end of that round, Carol Foro started doing good. That's a really good win. Striking match with Chanel Dyer. That's not going to be easy to win. I think that's going to age fantastically, as it already has with what Chanel Dyer did at UFC London, I believe, a few months back. Fast hands, solid power, good boxing in most sense of the word. She's got good head movement, good idea of space. Kind of a hook demon. She's just kind of spamming hooks out there, not really throwing a whole lot of jabs or anything, but she's still really good. Dropped Dyer really bad twice in round 1. She had her, I thought it was finished. She's sick, though. I actually really like Carol Foro. I'm not the biggest fan of most WMMA fighters, but Carol Foro is sick right now. She's up there with Wong Tong and Fatima Klein for me right now. Solid pressure, good tracking around the octagon. Not the best striking defense, but she was fighting Chanel Dyer, so I don't, what are you gonna do there? She takes some hits. Chanel Dyer had her stung a few times, but it's Chanel Dyer, that's a hard opponent. Muay Thai, she's really good in the clinch. She's throwing a lot of knees. She'll throw some elbows, but a lot of knees to the body in the clinch, which I imagine they'll end up here a lot if if Gigi shoots a takedown and Carol defends it, they'll probably end up in the clinch, and Carol will land some nasty knees, I would assume. Showed some cardio issues against Dyer, but Dyer was throwing a billion teeps around, and 4-0 really went for the finish in round 1, so I might have gassed herself a bit. Really nasty leg kicks from her. And so my reasoning behind picking 4-0 is, even though I haven't seen much grappling from her, just with that Casey fight with Gigi getting hurt as bad as she did early on, I think Carol is going to be able to piece her up and maybe even get a finish, honestly. I'm just going to take her by winning. I don't know if it's going to be a finish or not. But I would be worried if it gets to the ground because Gigi is wicked on the ground. But I think Carol's good enough on the feet and showed good enough takedown defense against Chanel Dyer, who is admittedly a striker. But I think she showed good enough takedown defense there to where I'm pretty confident in Carol Foro's ability to get this one done. Getting into the next fight, I'm going to be taking Juliana Miller by a decision over Rina Oliveira. Um, Interesting records on both sides here. I think Juliana Miller might actually be 5-4, but I could be wrong on that. Um, Solid grappling for Miller. She was able to take Carly Giudice's back pretty early, and Carly Giudice is a pretty tough opponent. She dips her head a lot. Her striking sloppy. And look, Giudice is really good, but she was beating the crap out of Miller. She was outstriking her really bad. Leaves really big openings. Solid work in the body lock with like attack and takedowns. She's good at taking the back. She does it a lot. Good jiu-jitsu, basically, is all I need to say there. Oliveira, 100% finish rate as a women's fighter. That's rare. You don't see that often. But I don't know. She kind of runs in swinging like an idiot at times, and she lost to Dyer, but as I said earlier, losing to Dyer is not bad. Only throws big shots like hooks and stuff. I think Miller's just gonna smudge her to a decision. I don't know. I don't really care about this fight that much. I like to pretend that I care about every fight and like every fight. This is a hard one, man. It's I think 5-4 versus 7-4. Like these should be above them if I'm being honest. But it is what it is. I'm taking Juliana Miller by a smudge decision. Up next, we got Miles Johns taking on Jesse Rosas. I'm going to take a big risk, and I'm going to say Jesse Rosas is going to win this. He's making his debut against a veteran in Miles Johns. Jesse is the brother of Raul Rosas Jr., so he's got a pretty good corner. But getting into Miles Johns, and I'm taking Jesse Rosas. I think he could get a submission here, but Miles Johns, close fight with Matsumoto. Really solid jab, fast hands, very explosive. Good chin. He's eating some big shots. Solid defense when it comes to like his guard and stuff, but sometimes it's weird. His defense is inconsistent. He'll hit some like really good stuff with his guard, and then he'll just get hit by something. And I'm like, really? That hit you? Really? Loves the right hand. Crashes in with it. Solid takedown game. This UFC hates this man. I don't know how they've aged. I think one of them got cut, but 3 fights in a row he was against people that had 1 loss at the time. That's just unfortunate, man. It was Daniel Marcos that got cut. He leaves some openings for takedowns and strikings despite his good guard. Miles Johns does, which is why I think Rosas is going to get this. I think he'll be able to like maybe hurt him on the feet or get a takedown during one of those openings. But Rosas is Raul's older brother. He fought at 559 fights. Shout out 559 fights. Should have tried to work for them or something. I would have done literally anything for them while I was here for the summer, but I'm an idiot. Rosas got really good jiu-jitsu. He can connect that left hand really often. He has pretty slick striking and kickboxing. Mixes his shots to the head and body well. Threatens a lot of submissions. High pressure. Nasty body work. And, even though Miles has a lot more experience and it's a risky pick with Rosas, I think the grappling and the slickness of the striking is enough to take advantage of the openings that Miles Johns leaves. I've seen a lot of people are pretty torn on this one. They're like, a lot of people are taking Miles Johns. I think Jesse Rosas can get this done, man. Really, really rough debut. It's weird. You think he'd get a little bit of favoritism being Rosas, Raul's brother. No favoritism here. Miles Johns is a rough debut, and if he can win that, especially by like a submission or some kind of finish, I'm going to be very, very impressed. Getting into the next fight, we got Manuel Sosa taking on Richie Miranda. Sosa has a win over Mauricio Rufy on the regional scene. Obviously, that was years ago, so it's not the same Rufy, but still, it's kind of there. That's something that should be stated. Really big power, swings massive, does a good job backing people against the cage. I'm taking him by a KO, by the way. Not great on the ground, but he does this thing in like every fight where he gets to the ground, he will threaten and hold that Kimura to get a transition or to get you off of him or to relieve some pressure. Switches stances pretty often, solid cardio, nasty body work, really strong in the clinch, which I think will come into effect here. Like when he's in the clinch, he kind of just manhandles people. Like he really dictates where it goes and who's in the better position most of the time. He can be victimized on the ground, though. That does need to be said. But he has a mean a mean rear hand from both stances when he's switching. It could be either his right or his left. That thing hits and it hits hard. Miranda has taken his debut here. I believe he was the LFA champion for a while. In his most recent fight, he bought some guy called Barzilai. Good win. Really good win. Awesome win. Love to see that win. Not a KO, unfortunately. Cardio demon, high pressure and output. He kind of crashes in, throwing in combos and dips his head. Mixes in a lot of level changes, but the way he fights, he kind of crashes into the clinch a lot. So I think Manuel Sosa is going to have a lot of ability to dictate where this fight goes because Richie Miranda will crash in with some combo, and Sosa will get in the clinch, manhandle him a bit, maybe throw him off, maybe hit an elbow or something. And I think Miranda's going to be outworking Sosa. Like, I think he'll probably be landing more shots, but I think Sosa is just going to land that shot eventually, and it's going to be Richie Miranda's going to go out cold, probably. I don't even know if this would be a TKO. Interesting fight, though. Miranda seems pretty good, so I'm ready to be wrong on this one, but Sosa just has a different level of power. Getting into the next fight, we got Louis Sutherland taking on Jose Montana, I think. I'm going to be taking Louis Sutherland. I don't know by what. Probably a knockout if I had to take a guess. Admittedly, Sutherland got subbed by Johnny Walker, but Johnny Walker, I imagine, is better than Jose Montana. And he's been doing this at a high level and submitting these guys in the UFC, unlike Jose Montana. And Louis did show some good grappling against Tuivasa. I know how that sounds, but like he showed some sneaky rolls there. You know, he showed some sneaky stuff. He had Brando Pericic hurt early, and Brando's very good, so that's solid. Brando did work the hell out of him in the pocket. That's what led to that KO. That was rough. He's got solid power, good boxing, and he has some ability to get like these blast doubles and these big takedowns into some ground and pound. Jose Montana, literally couldn't find footage of him. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know where to find this stuff. I gotta ask another YouTuber or something. But yeah, I mean, he's subbing randoms on the regional scene, and Louis Sutherland's been fighting in the UFC for a while now. His 2 losses are to Walter Walker and Brando Pericic. I'm not going to hold that over you. Those are 2 probably top 10 level guys, if I'm being honest. Yeah. And what Sutherland did on the regional scene, I think he's going to beat Jose Montana. But Jose Montana could sub him, but I don't think Jose Montana is that good from what I've seen. I mean, you're subbing randoms on the regional scene, big whoop. Getting it, I'm going to eat my words on that one, and he's going to get hit with like an RNC in round 1. Ugh. Up next, we got DR Nurgazai taking on Bruno Lopez. I'm going to take DR Nurgazai by a finish, probably later than 1.5 rounds in. DR, huge weight miss in his debut and still lost. Kept his hands in a position most of the time pretty low to where you're getting dropped by Brinson Ribeiro, who I do not have a very high opinion of. Low output, kind of a counter striker. Got caught in the Kimura in the big 25 or 24, which is like, come on, man. Throws a rear kick to the throws rear kicks to the body a lot, which I do like to see. He got dropped bad against the cage and caught in a sub with relative ease in an Ezekiel recently. An Ezekiel choke, man. Ezekiel! I've never seen one live in the UFC. I don't remember that one happening, but he got caught in an Ezekiel. He does have fast hands and solid power. Almost got Sulayev stretched in his one UFC win, so keep that in mind. He was this close to a Sulayev stretch getting in on him. Lopez, he's chinny. He's the first Sterling KO victim in the UFC. Solid in the clinch. He's got good BJJ, but I think DR is just better on the feet. I don't really see it going to the ground. None of these guys are that bad. I've been crapping on them. They're not awful. But I just think DR is a little bit better than Bruno Lopez. I don't think the ground game matters that much here. Even if Lopez does get it to the ground where he does have good jiu-jitsu, I don't know if he will necessarily. And DR has hopefully made improvements in that field. And I think he's going to knock out Bruno Lopez eventually after some struggle. He won't be winning the fight, I don't think. But so if we get to round 3 and it's still going, I'm going to be a little bit nervous. But I'll be waiting for that knockout. Getting into our next fight, we got Steven Asplund, the GOAT. Look at Steven Asplund, man. So inspirational, for real. Taking on Guilherme Pat. I'm going to be taking Steven Asplund by a TKO in probably the 3rd round. I think it'll be like a standing TKO even. Asplund, I love him, but I really hope he doesn't do that nipple thing he does where he grabs him and goes like this. It's weirding me out every time I see it. Stupid output for a heavyweight, man. He's fighting like Max Holloway. I think they were calling him a heavyweight Max Holloway after his fight with Sean Sharaf, who's fighting Gable Steveson, because that guy just gets a couple layups and then he's going to get a title shot magically because he's a criminal disciple. But he's good technique in boxing, pretty good head movement, really good chin. He got subbed by Denzel Freeman on the regional scene, but I don't even think Denzel I don't even think that it wasn't even regional. I think it was LFA or something. I don't think Denzel Freeman's that bad. I think he might be a better grappler than Guilherme Pattis, even especially in terms of takedowns. But the guy just fought Josh Hokett in his debut, man. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, Josh Hokett's probably like a top. I almost want to say three, but then that means I had to admit he'd probably beat Alex Pereira. So, and people won't like that. So I'll say he's the top five heavyweight in the world right now. And he whooped Denzel Freeman, obviously, but that's just a different level. Um, Asplund causes a ton of damage on everyone he fights. They have some marks coming out. He utilizes his jab really well, which is rare to see in an MMA fighter. Uh, he can get through and around the guard really well. Against Sean Sharafi, he's just slicing right through the guard, hitting hooks right around it on the back, on the ear. He defended takedowns from Petrino really well, and he shows what to do. The main thing is that he knows what to do during a takedown attempt to stop the person, like pushing the head out of the way and how to balance. And even when Petrino took him down, he did a good job at getting up. Guilherme Pat couldn't do much to Thomas Peterson. He's all right. He's whatever in the striking and the grappling. I just don't think he's good enough. I don't think he has the cardio. I don't think he has the wrestling ability to keep Asplund down. And I don't think he has the frame for it. And I don't think he has the striking to knock him out or hurt Asplund that bad on the feet. So I'm going to take Stephen Asplund by around 3, maybe 2 TKO. Getting into the next fight, we got Ty Miller versus Billy Ray Goff. Yeah, I'm going to take Ty Miller by a finish here eventually. Maybe a decision. I'm going to take Ty Miller by decision, actually. Really good straights. Like his 1-2 is really good. Really fast hands with a long reach. Cuts really good angles. Takedown defense has been a bit of an issue for him, but I imagine he's been working on that since he has more of a past in boxing with like the Golden Gloves or whatever. Yeah, just really good boxing in general. Really fast. Really long. Good power. Goff, Brahimaj victimized him in the grappling and the clinch. He's a solid striker. He's tough. Kinoshita was beating him pretty well. Kinoshita was outstriking him pretty comfortably, especially utilizing that jab, which I think Ty Miller even has a better jab. Billy Ray Goff throws a lot of leg kicks, which Ty Miller hasn't really checked him. That's been an issue for him. So I think that could be a problem. Goff is tough. The leg kicks could be an issue, but I think Miller is just better. I think he's faster hands, faster on the feet, better reaction time, better athlete. I think he's just going to beat up Billy Ray Goff for probably 3 rounds. Getting into the next fight, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm not going to overthink this. I think Alexia Tainara is just going to smudge Amanda Lemos to a decision. Maybe get a submission. She's a 28-year-old, really good grappler facing a 39-year-old woman. What do you want me to say? Like, I watched some footage for this and I damn near jumped out my window. I think Alexia Tainara is just gonna win by decision. If I'm being honest, yeah, this is gonna be a. Let's hope Alexia gets it done in round 1 with submission because that's a 39-year-old woman. Speaking of old people, yeah, Yadier Delval is gonna violate Darren Elkins. Look at Darren Elkins, man, the damage. You'd beat my ass, obviously, but look at him. You seriously got that tattoo. I get it, your name is the damage because you take damage and you cause damage. But look at that, man. Look at that. Whatever. Yeah, Delval. I really like his nickname, the Cuban Problem, because I can imagine like Norm Macdonald. Like that's how he talked about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like, that problem in Cuba, the Cuban problem, and they're talking about the nukes in Cuba. Solid takedown defense. And hit some nasty transitions on Bulgarian. Really good submission game and solid enough striking. It passes to whatever. It's like one of those things where it's like, you're featherweight. You're not going to be bad at anything. Elkins, not a bad career. Fought a lot of legends of the game. Beat a few of them. But he's 42. He's past his prime. Solid takedown game, good enough striking, but quite frankly, I just don't think it's going to be enough. This is his retirement fight. I'd love to see him get a win there, but I think Yadier Delval is just too good in the too good in the grappling, and probably too young and fresh and athletic in the striking for Darren Elkins to really keep up. I'm going to take Yadier Delval by a decision. Yeah, Darren Elkins, 42. Good career. I'm glad he's calling it here, and he's not going to go to BKFC or do anything dumb like that. I just think he's old. And normally I don't hold that over fighters, but there's some people that does and doesn't apply to, like Justin Gaethje's old, but I don't think that applies to him nearly as much as Darren Elkins. Getting into the next fight, we got Diego Ferreira taking on Billy Quarantillo. Okay, this card is a lot weaker than I thought it was, if I'm being honest. I I thought it looked really good on paper the first time I saw it. I don't know what happened. What does look crazy on paper is 331. Oh my god, I didn't talk about that. That's like maybe I'll talk about that when I get there, but that's a crazy card. Ferreira, I'm taking Diego Ferreira by his knockout. He was doing well against Hernandez and showing good movement in kickboxing until he got hit with that right cross. He was piecing him up pretty well though. Solid BJJ all around. Fought lot of high level guys like Michael Johnson, sorry, and Mateus Rebecki. He has a win over both those guys, which is really impressive. He did get KO'd by Gamrot. Do with that what you will. Split decision with Dariush, and which I think he lost that decision, but still a split decision with Dariush. Dariush was good. He was getting close to a title shot for a while. Um, I think he's just generally fought better comp the past few years than Billy Quarantillo has, and done just as well as Quarantillo. He did beat Anthony Pettis in 2020. That's another cool one for Ferreira. Quarantillo last fight was in 2024, where he got murdered by Cub Swanson. Sub by Zalal the same year, lost to Barbosa in the big 2023. Both these dudes, I don't have much to say. As I get through these cards, especially when I procrastinate, which is why it's out on a Friday instead of a Wednesday, and I'm realizing, oh my god, I have to get this out, and I'm working on it at 11 o'clock at night, I realize some of these people are just the defaults. They're default featherweights. They're good at striking. They're good at grappling. They're better at one of the other ones. One of them's going to have power. One of them's going to have speed. Both of them are old. Both of them have fought everyone who's ever fought ever. I bet I could find a Moicano on one of their resumes if I look deep enough. I think one of them even fought RDA. Not RDA, sorry. One of them fought Aldo or something, I think. I could be tweaking on that. But it's like, it's just default featherweights, man. I don't know. Like, there's not much to say about them. I think Diego Ferreira will win. And they're entertaining, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. There's just not much to say about them. Not nearly as much as is to say about these two. In the main event, we got Quillen Salkilld taking on Mateusz Gamrot. I'm going to take Quillen Salkilld by a finish within 3 rounds, probably. This really comes down to whether or not you believe in the grappling of Salkilld, which I do. Admittedly, Gamrot's on a very high level, but I'm going to pull up Gamrot's Tapology, and I want you to tell me, and don't rage bait, except for the 0 people that'll leave a comment on this. I just think Gamrot has some weird fights and decisions with people that I don't think are as good as Quillen Salkilld. But I'll read about them first. I'll give you my notes first. Salkilld, really good striker, really, really big for the division. He's got solid grappling in every sense of the word, good takedowns, good transitions, good submission game, good takedown defense. Debatable cardio issues against that Israeli guy, but he shot like 250,000 takedowns. Gamrot, he beat Gamrot. He beat Arman. People will debate that. I don't care. He beat Arman in was pretty much a pure grappling match. He's got solid enough striking. He's probably a top 3 grappler in the division behind. He might be top 2 behind Charles and Arman, if I had to take a guess. Probably a better I think he's a better grappler than Quillen here, but I do think the gap on the feet is bigger than the gap on the ground, if that makes sense. He does have nasty sprawls in transition. Gamrot does. But my thing is just like, I do believe in Quillen Salkilld as a prospect. He doesn't have that whole thing of being undefeated that he has to worry about. He already has a loss in his debut, so he's done from there. Really good striking. He's like a lot of these Australians. He's just really well-rounded, but he's bigger than almost everyone else in the division. He's stronger than all these guys. He has really well-rounded everything. And here's my issue with Gamrot. Maybe it's me underestimating these people. Split decision loss to Dan Hooker. I think Quillen Salkilld would decimate Dan Hooker, and that was because of the feet and Quillen Salkilld and Dan Hooker. Hooker's a little bit lankier and longer, but they're both just big lightweights, so Gamrot clearly struggles with that. Gamrot's win over Fiziev doesn't really count to me because, guy hurt his leg. Jalen Turner, split decision. Jalen Turner's solid, but split decision with Jalen Turner, man. He did beat Diego Ferreira with strikes. He lost to Guram Kutatelidze in his first fight. It was a split decision still. he did get UD'd by Beneil Dariush, who Quinlan Salkilld did beat, and I know it was a few years later, but it's not like these guys fade that bad in 4 years. Dariush was already old when he fought Gamrot. He was just a little bit older when he fought Salkilld. I think Salkilld just has the general skill set and the athleticism and the frame to beat a guy like Gamrot. I don't know how specifically. I don't know if he'll keep it on the ground. I don't know if he'll just out-transition him or out-frame him on the ground. Yeah, I like Gamrot. He's cool. I like his grappling. His fight with Oliveira was sick. I like these grappling exchanges. But and here's the other thing that I think I want. People make fun of Max Holloway for having Oliveira on his back for 5 rounds. Gamrot clearly couldn't do anything to Max Holloway because in round 2, Gamrot got hit with a rear naked. Oliveira had Holloway's back for 5 rounds pretty much and couldn't sub him. So don't come out here talking about, oh, Max Holloway can't wrestle. That's just because it was Oliveira. Holloway would violate Gamrot. He would do bad things to BSD. Paddy Pimblett wouldn't do anything to Max Holloway. I'm a Holloway glazer, and I know it was short notice for Gamrot, but you're a grappler, man. I digress. I'm taking Quinlan Salkilld by probably like a TKO in the 3rd or 4th round. This is a really interesting fight, really high level. I didn't put the ranks on there. Quinlan Salkilld skyrocketing through this division, man. I do like him. He has a fun style. He's had a lot of cool moments. I like his personality. Gamrot's cool, but I just think Quinlan Salkilld is a little bit better at this point in time. If you guys made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for engagement bait is that comment. Go follow me on Instagram so I could actually have a reason to start posting there. It's the same as my YouTube, MMA Productions. You might not be able to find it because I'm too niche. We'll say it that. I'll see you guys in the next one.